Okay, let's go through this week's box. We are going to kind of go through everything. Just so you know, this is my second run on this video because I forgot to plug in my microphone the first time, so you can all laugh at me now if you want to. We have three things that we're gonna end up making. We're going to do a verrine that's going to be a tropical fruit verrine. We're going to do a laminated dessert that's going to be chocolate, and we can use either raspberry or strawberry depending on which box you get. There's only 2 raspberries and the rest are strawberry. And we're going to do tempered chocolate garnishes, which you haven't done before, but there are 3 videos, I believe, that are online, and you can go ahead and watch all of those. None of them are of me. Honestly, Kristen Tibbles, that's my favorite video of the 3 that's on there. She does an amazing job of explaining tempering chocolate, just using the microwave at home, using the seeding method. She does a really, really good job of, just showing simple techniques that you can do too. So when you check out those videos for the chocolate tempering, you'll know what I'm talking about. So with the chocolate tempering, I'm going to give you some acetate sheets, extra parchment, and there's transfer sheets in here too. Transfer sheets are the thin sheets of plastic that have like a decoration on them. In our case, it's like a really thin, white, lacy kind of pattern that's on there. And you can use that with a dark chocolate to put a nice pattern on that. Just add your tempered chocolate to the acetate sheet. Just watch the videos. Seriously, that's really, really important. I can't stress that enough. But adding that onto that acetate sheet will actually make the cocoa butter cling to the chocolate, and then you'll have that design left on the outside of the chocolate. It looks really clean. So shapes that you can do squares, you can do thin sticks. Kristen does a really good job on showing how to like make designs in your chocolate after it starts to partially crystallize, and then she wraps it around like a rolling pin, so your chocolate has a little bit of a curve to it, so you can do things along those lines. Okay, so we'll have that kit in with all the rest of it. There are 2 large quarts of dark chocolate in here, and there's a pint of white chocolate in here. You can, I would start with practicing with tempering the dark chocolate first. It's easier to temper, it's less temperamental. Pretty funny, right? And then there's the white chocolate in here too that you can temper as well. So that's it for the tempered chocolate portion. For the laminated dessert, you're going to use the chocolate almond cake, right? We all kind of love this one. Super thin. And what I want you to think about is like when entremets and petit gâteaux, we got thick layers on, right? They're like a ½ inch to even up to an inch thick. So they're a little bit thicker. With your laminated dessert, if you want this to look nice, it's got to be clean, thin profile, right? So I included one of the small oval ring molds in here. To be honest, I was running out of cake and I wasn't going to make a whole bunch more, but these thin layers only take up, we're talking like a ½ inch or less, so you want your mousse to kind of mimic that on the inside. What you're going to do is a layer of chocolate cake, a layer of strawberry or raspberry mousse, depending on which one you get. So a thin layer, another chocolate cake, and another layer of raspberry mousse. That won't fill up this whole mold. You're looking at probably 2/3 of the way full or so. And so you're looking at a product that's going to be like an inch, quarter thick by the end of it. And after you freeze that, I also included some red mirror glaze in here too. This is the one that we used before. You could pour that on top before you cut the bars, but after you freeze it into this, you can then remove it. Now, if you don't have a blowtorch at home, I don't, honestly, you can use your hands to warm up the outside of the mold and then push from the bottom. It will release. You can use a towel that's been soaked in just a little bit of warm water, rub it around the edges, it will release, okay? So you have a couple options to get that out of there. And then you can go back and just cut bars or cut different shapes out of this. I think just a bar straight across in a rectangle, probably about 3/4 of an inch wide. You'll probably get 4 or 5 bars out of here with the little curved edges. And then you can use your garnishes from your chocolate to put on top, right? So what you'll end up with is something like we did with the Legos, right? So you have that really thin layer, and the top layer on the top of it's going to be the mirror glaze, the bright red mirror glaze. Underneath of that's going to be the mousse, then the cake, then the mousse, then the cake, right? So really simple. It's very similar to building the entremets. You're just finishing it with a bare edge because we're going to go back and cut. Now, when we go back and we cut our bars, every time you cut that laminated dessert, you need to cut it with a clean knife, right? So get a towel, dip it in warm water, wipe your knife off, 1 cut. Wipe your knife off, 2 cuts. Wipe your knife off, 3 cuts. If you go back and make that cut with a dirty, sloppy knife, the mirror glaze is going to stick on it, or the cake's going to stick to it, and it's going to tear things, and all that work you put in there is going to be just junk. It's not going to look nice anymore, right? Yes, it'll still taste fine, but you're not in this class anymore because you honestly believe, like, well, it's fine as long as it tastes good. That's not what advanced pastries is about, right? I mean, we make things to make, yes, they taste good, but they got to be shiny, they got to be pretty, right? We just plain and simple, that's the way it is. Welcome to pastries. So that's what we want. Make sure that that cuts nice and clean. I'm going to put my phone number on Canvas. Initially, I was going to put it on YouTube, and then I remembered everybody else could call me there too, so I'm going to put it on Canvas, so you can call me if you want to, or shoot me a text if you want to. If you have any questions that need like immediate responses, especially like when you're tempering chocolate, I'll always try to get back as fast as I can. Sometimes emails, I don't look at my emails 3 times a day or 6 times a day or anything like that. It's usually once in the morning, once at night. If you want super fast contact, I'll put my phone number on there and we'll be good to go. For your verrines, we have tropical fruit flavors that are in here, okay? So there's passion fruit puree. If we've never used it before, it's very sour, like lemon juice or lime juice sour, but it has a great aroma. You can make a curd out of that just like you would have the lemon curd. So you would just substitute in one part of the passion fruit for the other part. If you need a scale, please let me know. I think I asked once in class and I believe everybody had scales. So, but if you need one, you know, email me. We can make things happen. There's high ratio cake that's in here that we baked off quite a long time ago in the beginning, but this works beautiful if you want to make little cubes or make toasted cake or something like that to put in your verrines. Your verrines are meant to be fun, right? There's not a recipe for these. This is you being creative. In your verrine, if you don't remember, stuff in a cup. You got your clear glass cup, you put all your little layers in there, you're looking for something that's kind of crunchy, something that's creamy, like all these different textures. You could use your chocolate garnishes on the top. A lot of fun things in there. There's pineapple in here, some frozen pineapple that's now thawed out mango. There's cashew. Almond crumble. I don't know if I mentioned this already. If I did, I'm sorry. But this was raw almond crumble, so you want to crumble this up onto a sheet pan and then bake it off 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. You'll have a really nice almond crumble. Check it at 15. It might bake faster in your ovens. Almond paste is in here too. We never got to it. There was a recipe for pain de gêne in your book that I really wanted to make. It just keeps getting pushed back a little bit, so I just included the almond paste if you wanted to make that. The pain de gêne is spelled P-A-I-N-D-E-G-E-N-E-S, I think. And it's like a chewy almond cake, and it's really, really tasty. But there's a chunk of almond paste. You'll have to minimize the recipe a little bit, but that'll be okay. Plenty of puree. This one has a raspberry in it. The other ones have strawberry. Plenty of puree, so if you wanted to use some of that, you could. But you can make mousses. You can make creams. You can make a gelée, which is nothing more than taking a liquid and putting gelatin in it and making jello out of it, right? That's what a gelée is. So sometimes it looks really cool to like take a bright red color, just taste it. You know, it's sweetened raspberry puree or strawberry puree. Put a little bit of gelatin in there and pour that at the bottom of your cup, and then you have this bright red layer down at the bottom. You let that chill, and then you put the rest of your dessert on it, and you have all these kind of cool colors that are on the inside, right? So have fun with that. Look through your book too. There's some examples of verrines that are in there that they've done that are really nice. That'll be helpful. There's gelatin in here, a quart of cream, a pound of butter, all the standards that you need. So this should be a really fun one. It's pretty active. There's a good amount of build. There's a good amount of cook on it too. One thing is a good amount of recipes. Again, you can relate back to your book and choose mousse recipes, but you guys know how to make a fruit mousse at this point. You know how to make a lemon curd, so you can turn that passion fruit into a lemon curd, and you make mousses out of that. So the pictures that I have been getting, and this isn't just like kidding around, I was surprised. They're great. So keep sending them to me. It's really good for me to see too. Keeps me really hopeful. Some of them are just absolutely fantastic. You guys are doing a really, really good job with that. And I know it's challenging to do this stuff at home. It's not the same as doing it in this big, expensive kitchen. So we'll go from there. There'll be a couple other videos that I'm going to have posted up concerning finals and also concerning next semester, so we can talk about that. So look for those soon, okay? I'll talk to you guys soon, and see you Tuesday morning. Yeah. Peace out.